right, we are live and we are here. Here for another week, another funeral for this season. So it's like we got a few more funerals we're gonna have for the rest of the season because I don't foresee it going any better than what's going right now for Dallas Cowboys. We lost again today, 3 in a row, to the Atlanta Falcons, who move up to 6-3, and we moved down to 3-5. We lost 27-21. Don't let that score fool you. It was not as close as it kind of appeared. It was not a blowout, but there was hope. But there was no hope at the same time. Dak Prescott has reportedly had a hamstring injury. I don't know if it's a pull or anything, so this could be a nagging injury for the rest of the season, which may give rise to another quarterback to take the reins. Probably more likely going to be Cooper Rush and not our other third-string quarterback. To give him a shot, even though we paid money to the 49ers to get him over here, but is it going to get better with Cooper Rush than what we have currently with the highest paid quarterback in the league, Dak Prescott? Jermaine, what do you say about that?
I usually have a lot of words as it relates to the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm losing patience and words to describe this season and this team. To answer your question, is it going to get better with Cooper Rush? How can it get worse? So, yes, I think it will get better with Cooper Rush. Actually, that game looked better with Cooper Rush.
I agree.
That Cooper Rush in the fourth quarter looked way better than that. Cooper Rush gave us 3 opportunities to win that game. He threw a sideline bomb to Jalen Tolbert, who was seemingly wide open. It wasn't the best throw, but any wide receiver with some skill can make that catch. He threw a teardrop pass to CeeDee Lamb, and if CeeDee Lamb shoulder wasn't bothering him, I think CeeDee Lamb makes that catch, and that was in the end zone. And then he did get the game closer with Jalen Tolbert and converted on the 2-point conversion. I believe if Cooper Rush had more time, Cooper Rush probably could have pulled the trick out of his hat, but he hit 3 passes within the time he was in the game that were pretty good. The offense, even in that short amount of time with Cooper Rush, seemed to look re-energized to a degree. Even CeeDee Lamb, who was injured, he caught the 2-point conversion. So to answer your question, yes, I do think we will look better with Cooper Rush. Will we win a game? Will we win some games? That depends on how long Dak stays out. I know we got Philly next week. I think I would say I think Cooper Rush gives us a better chance now over Dak. Yes, I would say that. So yeah. I know Dak is a $60 million man and he's a starter, but going back, remember when Nick Foles took over for Carson Wentz and led their ass to the Super Bowl? Not saying that's going to happen, but sometimes I'm not saying that's going to happen, but sometimes the backup is a better option.
Hey, well, I'm going to say, you remember when Dak was hurt before and Cooper Rush took the reins?
Rush took the reins, and he went like 5-1. So it's not uncommon. Cooper Rush, this is the difference between Cooper Rush and Dak. Dak plays like he knows he's a star. He has to be protected. He has to preserve any injuries. Cooper Rush knows I'm backup. So it's not as if he's playing with this chip on his shoulder. So Cooper Rush is going to sling it a bit more. Cooper Rush slung that ball at least 3 times. Dak rarely does that. And again, those 3 passes that I just talked about, they were catchable passes. So, I mean, but Cooper Rush aside, Dak aside, let's go to the overall team.
Okay.
Let's go to the overall team. In fact, let's go back to week 3, I think. when we played the Giants. Whenever Micah and D-Law got injured.
Yeah.
I wanna go back to that game. And the reason I want to go back to that game is because that's when the unraveling began. Because if you watch that game, the Dallas Cowboys fought for their life to win that game, and it resulted in D-Law getting injured, D-Law getting injured, and Michael Parsons getting injured. I saw Trayvon Diggs grimacing in pain on the sideline. He went out the game because of dehydration. They fought for their life just to beat the Giants. And then, we get that.
I feel happy about that too.
And then we get that miraculous win over the Steelers. So you get a little bit of hope. But the team, the front office, the managers, the coaches, it's in disarray from top to bottom. And nothing's going to fix it this year. This is going to take offseason. It's going to take drafting. It's going to take free agency. It's going to take reconnecting in mini camp and training camp. You're in first week of November. Right now, it's just a matter of playing your games. They're going to be on TV because it's Dallas Cowboys. Everybody want to see them win or see them lose. So they're still going to be on prime time. They're still going to get their TV spot. They got Philly coming up. That's a big prime time game. And then they got the Thanksgiving game. So they're going to still get their shine whether they win or lose. But this season, it's all but just about over. And I say just about, and that's the somewhat optimism in me, somewhat trying to hold out for something, a second gas with Michael Parsons coming back and D-Law coming back. But as soon as they come back, Dak is going to be gone for at least a week or two. I ain't too upset about that.
That might be good news.
You know what? My grandma used to say, God sometimes gives you what you think you don't want. But in retrospect, it's what you need. So, and I say that in the Dak Prescott injury. It's not like the ankle injury. It's not as gruesome as that once was. So I was happy to see him standing up and in his right mind. I'm happy about that. But going back to that quote from my grandmother, maybe it's God's way of telling the Cowboy fans of, hey, that ain't your guy, and I'm gonna give you who you think you don't want, and let's see what he can do. Granted, we still got Trey Lance over there too, so who knows?
Yeah, but I don't understand why we got him in the first place. I thought maybe he was put there to put fear in Dak to play better. Like, if you don't play good enough, we'll bench you and put him in. But he's the third string, so
that never was gonna happen. Dak knows he got a solid gig. There was no fear in benching Dak. Dak knows he got a solid gig. That goes back to what we discussed on the last episode. That the Jerry Jones, he's tied in with his boys. Dak knows he got a solid gig. He's good. He knows he can win, lose, stink up the place. He will be the Dallas Cowboys quarterback for at least the next 4 years.
Is there a way? I'm not knowledgeable of this, but is there a way? Without firing him, can we bench the coach? Because I would like to bench the coach or the backup coach. Mike McCarthy, through his tenure here, worst game manager I almost have ever seen within the last 2 minutes of a game. He does not know how to hold on to timeouts. First half, he just threw them all away like they were nothing, like they were candy corn for Halloween. Candy corn. No one likes sick people. I said it. Sick people love candy corn. He just threw them all out. That play that the Falcons got a touchdown, might have been the second one, where they only had what is his name? Let me make sure I get his name right. Trey Diggs, like he was lost. I think they had 4 receivers on his side to Dallas's 3, Trey Diggs was like he was lost and did not know where to go. Off, I think it was to a third to a fourth down that they scored a touchdown on.
It was fourth.
Fourth down. All right. Right.
It was fourth down. And what happens on a play like that? I'm not a football like guru, but I played football. I watched it enough to know on a play like that, someone's got a blitz and someone's going to be left open.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened. So Trayvon Diggs it looks like he wants to blitz. As soon as Kirk Cousins see the attempt of a blitz from Trayvon Diggs, he knows he got the wide open. Now Trayvon Diggs see Kirk Cousins pulling the trigger. He tries to go back, all but too late because he got the wide receiver had to step on him. I saw that when it happened. I knew that's where he was going. I knew that's where Kirk Cousins was going when that play was attempting to be set up by Dallas.
I wonder if the reporter that questioned him last week, you see that clip of that? Where the reporter was getting on Trey Diggs?
Yeah, I saw it, and they made up, and Trayvon said something about you don't know shit, and he was like something about respect. Report these nuts or something along those lines.
Report on these nuts.
And then they made up and tongue-in-cheek comedy and I'm gonna give you a can of nuts and shut up.
No, how sweet.
Shut up.
I wonder if he ate them.
It was just, you got bigger fish to fry over there in Dallas.
Jerry probably made him apologize. He probably didn't want to apologize for that.
Jerry Jones probably did because Jerry Jones knows this is my brand. I gotta use the brand. Go and apologize to the boys. Now, granted, I don't know if Jerry Jones apologized to those radio hosts.
I doubt it. He don't have to. It's his brand. He said, I doubt it. But back to McCarthy. McCarthy also is one of the worst motivators of his team. I've ever seen. When he talks, from what I've heard anyway, when he gives pep talks, they don't pay attention to him. It's like, it's just a guy talking. There's a voice, but it's not important. And partially, it may have to do with that they don't think he runs the team. They think Jerry runs the team, so no one cares to listen to him.
Yeah, that has been the case for all Dallas coaches.
Yeah.
Post Barry Switzer. With the exception of Parcells, which is why he got out of there. Jason Garrett, same thing. Jason Garrett never ran it. Now, Mike McCarthy. There's no firing up. No one's getting fired up. No one's passionate about winning. Let me take that back. I honestly think the players are passionate about winning, but they just can't do it based upon what they have to work with in the organization. I do think they want to win. Yeah. I do think they just realize this is an uphill battle with Jerry Jones. This is an uphill battle, and that's what it gets to. It gets to that point where we want to win and we want to compete, but you can't give us this and expect to get that, So, and in this case, it goes back. Derrick Henry was out there. Devontae Adams was out there at the trade deadline. Amari Cooper, he was out there. Could have brought him back.
There's plenty of people we could have brought back, but I feel like Jerry Jones. I don't know. I feel like he did this out of spite. He said, y'all want me to sign Dak Prescott? Fine. I'll give him all the money. And you see what he can do. If you think he can do everything, I'm going to give him all the money. And I'm not going to add any additions. I'm going to show you that y'all don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I've been the general manager and the owner here for, 40 plus years. You don't want to listen to me? Fine. Do it on your own. This is what this year feels like to me. Like he just said, damn it. I don't care what the fans say. I don't care what the coaches want. You want what you want. You do it on your own. Maybe next year I'll return and act like an acting general manager. But this year it seems like he is sticking it to his own team. It doesn't matter because he's still gonna get paid in the end.
It does seem like that. I saw a video that echoed everything that you just said. Basically, Jerry Jones is not a dumb man. I think he knows.
I guess.
I mean, he knows what he's doing. I saw a video and they said Jerry Jones knows Zeke is cooked. Zeke is done. Dalvin Cook, okay, great name. Would have been a great sign 10 years ago.
All these no-name people that have passed their prime. Like, I don't understand why he's putting these people on, just besides saying, I got some money to spend. I got some income tax money to spend, so I'll just put some money on there.
That's basically what it
is. And shout out to Bruce Hope of the Format Podcast. Got a great podcast on YouTube. Y'all should check it out. If you have never checked it out, check it out, please. He's got a comment up here that all this is true, but at the end of the day, MacArthur isn't worried because he will go to his grave with a very specific title, champion. Yeah, with Green Bay. He already got his chip from there. And then here he says, I'll give a lot to be right, but not $4 billion. Oh, quarter of a billion, I guess is what he's trying to say. But Jerry ain't gonna have to worry about nothing, man. Jerry is 82 years old. What does he care about to win another chip at this point? He's worried about if death is gonna be knocking on his door and how he's going to leave his billions to his 3 sons. I think he has. He ain't worried about nothing. He ain't worried about the fans. That's just a con to get people to come to the games, but he's not worried about the fans at this point. And
this is how manipulative Jerry Jones is. I saw in an interview maybe last week, they were still talking about the trade because the trade deadline ends, I think, Tuesday. And
he said he has his eye on some people.
He said, I have my eye on someone, and the reporter or the interviewer asks, is this groundbreaking? Could it top the headlines of the election? The election. Election day is Tuesday.
Yeah.
And Jerry Jones says, yes. So let me put this into perspective. This motherfucker says, whomever he's thinking about signing, those headlines will trump, no pun intended, will trump who wins the presidential election, whether it's Donald or Kamala. He said whoever he's thinking about, whoever he signs, that would be a bigger headline.
Is he signing one of those two to a contract? Because that would be big news. Kamala Harris or Donald Trump to the Dallas Cowboys, that would make big news.
That's funny. That in itself tells me this cat is more so worried about clickbait and getting the headline over winning. Mm-hmm. Winning. I mean, now, whoever you are thinking about signing, it's gonna be more newsworthy over who wins the election. You won't know who wins the election until probably Thursday.
Possibly Thursday, maybe the week after that. Depends on who wins.
But going back, it's the culture, man.
It's probably DeMarco Murray. Yeah, it's gonna be DeMarco Murray. That's who he's gonna sign.
DeMarco Murray.
Would you be surprised at this point over the people he signed so far?
I wouldn't be surprised if this motherfucker brings back Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders would be the first coach in college and the first player in the NFL.
I mean, that would be a big signing. I mean, now not as a cornerback because Deion's missing half a foot now. So I don't think he got the same speed that he had, back in his Dallas days. But that still would make headlines.
It'll make headlines. And that's what Jerry Jones is about. He's about making headlines and money, not about winning games. And that's where we at right now. We're 3-5. We fall to a Falcons team who was good, but this game was winnable. I even had more hope, like I said earlier in the video, with Cooper Rush. I predicted us to win this game earlier in the season.
Yeah, yes, you did.
I predicted us to win this game. So and it gets we got a gauntlet now. I mean, we got Philly. We got the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
We got Washington. Shout out John. I know you ready for that. We got Cincinnati after that.
We'll lose that one.
So
because they're gonna be fighting for their playoff lives probably by that point. They can't afford to lose too many games, or they won't make the playoffs.
Yeah, and unless we get Lady Luck on our side and a couple losses from our competitors, like a couple NFC, and I ain't even talking about just the NFC East, just a couple losses from these top NFC teams. It's not looking good, but this is what Dallas is gonna do. Oh, you hear me on this one, Red? This is what these motherfuckers are gonna do.
What are they gonna do?
Oh, you think they're gonna lose all these games? No.
You think they're gonna go at least 500 with the rest of these games?
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they do. But this is what I'm getting at. Dallas just can't take their ass whoopings lying down like a man. No. We got to give you hope. We got Cooper Rush and
that's the only way.
All week, this upcoming week rather.
Mm-hmm.
The headline is going to be in the Dallas world. Again, we have the election, so let's not go off that. But in the Dallas Cowboy world, it's going to be Cooper Rush starting. That's the headline. CeeDee Lamb is not playing Sunday. He's not. Dak is not playing Sunday.
I give CeeDee Lamb. He played his behind off. They try to stay in the game. He played hurt. The first half, he was hurt to me.
He was tough. And because he kept going, they're not going to let him play against Philly.
He's going to feel it in the morning.
That adrenaline's going to wear off, and he's going to feel it. He's not going to play against Philly. Dak is definitely not playing against Philly. Maybe Micah Parsons comes back.
I don't know what word is on him when he is supposed to be alleged to come back. A week now, next week, 2 weeks.
I'll say he's going to be back next week, this week, upcoming week against Philly.
Mm-hmm.
I say he'll be back. Deron Bland will be back. I don't know what the hell D-Law is going to do. DeMarcus Lawrence. I don't think he'll be back against Philly. Yeah. But going back, at this point, any team will probably like, all right, we tanking the season, get some good draft picks, and we on to the next season. Not Dallas. No. They're going to make it competitive.
I don't even think it's going to matter, man.
It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter.
Saying, the bottom line of the thing is because when we had DeMarcus Lawrence, when we had Micah Parsons, and we had Dak playing this year, it didn't make a difference. We still were horrible in the rush. We still were horrible in the red zone. We're horrible at home. I guess we're going to be horrible on the road too. All that stuff got magnified last year versus Green Bay. We got figured out. And it transferred to this year. They got the same tape from last year, and they transferred over to this year. Even though we got a whole different defensive coach, I don't even know if it's the coaching or it's the heart of the team that is lacking of anything. I don't know if it's the schematics, the plan for the game. I think it's the heart of the team, the culture of the team, which goes to me to the head coach. The other heart of the team is the quarterback. The defensive players play to get the offense in the best position they can to win the game. And when your best offensive player keeps putting you in compromising positions all damn game, then they give up eventually. By the third quarter, on top of them being run roughshod through the entire game, they get them close to the goal line. That gets them to the red zone and throws a stupid pick or goes 3 and out, or sometimes 4 and out, because we did that today with Anger, the punt. They tried to do a fake punt.
I will get to that.
Yeah. We give up these stupid plays. That makes the defense want to give up because it's like, what are we playing for?
to that fake punt. Why? Either you're going to punt it or go for it. What's the point of faking the punt? I understood,
especially at that time of the game. It's just like, why?
I understood if you went for it, but why do the fake punt? So you got your kicker, who is not a quarterback, who does not typically throw the ball. You got him throwing the ball. That was such a bad play, and this is how desperate we are becoming. Dallas Cowboys don't traditionally do fake punts and trick plays and things of that nature. They don't. They're
you're right. We are desperate right now.
They're a very traditional offense. They run a very traditional offense. Some years that traditional offense works because of the better defense. Not this year. So why are we? The last fake punt I remember Cowboys attempting, I believe it was on Thanksgiving against Washington a couple years back. I could be wrong. Fact check me on that if anyone wants to. But that's when you know a team, not even talking about Dallas, any team is really desperate when they go outside of their playbook. A fake punt is outside of Dallas's playbook. It is. I mean, in that moment, I just think you go for the 2 yards. You run a play. Maybe even try and draw them off sides.
Yeah.
But don't do a fake punt.
Yeah.
Come on, man. And another play I want to point out in the Atlanta game, which was pivotal.
What's that?
The 4th and 1 on the jet sweep with CD. Hear me out. Again, I'm not a football guru. I'm not John Madden or anybody.
Rest in peace.
I've played and I've watched enough to know this is what happened on that play. That jet sweep was not in the original play call, which is why Mike McCarthy called a timeout, a wasted timeout too.
Wasted timeout. Yep.
Because what happened was the box was loaded up. That was under center, so that meant that, and there was no one in the backfield. So there was it had to be a pass, 3-step drop. They was gonna get to that. Call timeout. So once Mike McCarthy calls timeout, I see CD. I'm like, they're going to do. I see CD was like kind of in the slot somewhat. But I'm like, all right, they're doing a jet sweep. And I think it was Greg Olsen, the commentator on the game, said exactly what I said to my son when I was watching it. The edge rusher was in a 2-point stance. Mm-hmm. If you're in a 2-point stance, that jet sweep is not going to work because they're going to get you off. He's in the 2-point stance. They're going to get you. He's going to get you because he's not bent. He doesn't have to come up. He's already in position to make a play. They did the same play later in the game, Red. Yeah. It didn't work because the edge rusher was in a 3-point stance.
Yeah.
And there were so many missed opportunities. I do feel as if we hit that 4th and 1 when CD got driven back, there's opportunity. We got the only turnover in the game with the fumble.
Yeah, the fumble, yeah.
That was a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
So, missed opportunity lead to losses, man. And this is what happened today. It's a bad look right now in Dallas. And fans, here's the thing, man. Diehard fans are hurt right now because we're hurt at the wrong time. We usually know what happens in January. That's expected. We're ready for that hurt. We're not ready for this hurt. Usually around now, we talking shit. We going up into Thanksgiving and Christmas.
We can be competitive.
It's usually all good until January.
Right.
But to your point, the Dallas Cowboys spirit and soul was broken that January afternoon against Green Bay. And they have not recovered from that. And they're not going to recover this season. And again, if they squeak into the playoffs, which I highly doubt now, it's all but the same thing is going to happen.
I'd rather us just suck and just work on getting draft picks. I don't want to be middle of the pack. Let's go ahead and go all the way to the bottom. We at the bottom right now in the NFC. I don't know if you saw, but we're last place.
We're not going to stay in last place. I will confidently say that. They're not going to stay in last place. That's a pride thing. Oh, Jerry Jones, at that point, no, y'all need to win some games now.
Pride.
We're not going to stay in last place, especially with these NFC East games coming up. Oh,
Mhm.
I do believe we take one against Philly. I think we take one over Washington. I do. They won't stay in last place. Dak is not going to be out the rest of the entire season, but it's an uphill, it's a tall uphill hill to climb at this point. We needed this game. We needed to win today.
I want to raise a question then. I'm looking at this comment here from Format Podcast. It says Micah is too busy podcasting and not repping. He's saying repping here. And not repping for his quarterback, unlike last year. Now, the question is why I think we should just go ahead and just go for the high draft picks and just tank. Because do you think, because there's a lot of people who think like this, that Micah is more about the entertainment aspect of football and not putting his whole heart into the game of football. He just wants to do too many side projects. Kind of the same critique, I guess, people say about Draymond with his podcast, and he's not as focused as he should be, and other NBA players. Should we use Micah for trade bait?
Repeat the question.
Should we use Micah Parsons next year as trade bait?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. You don't think he's worth what he's going to end up asking for, because he's going to want top billing, dollars.
I think at this point, if Jerry Jones's mind is made up to tank the season, which it kind of looks like it, Micah's going to ask for top dollar. I don't think Micah is, because before the injury, Micah wasn't producing like that.
He really wasn't.
So
everything he's done has been, to me, based off potential. People keep saying they see, greatest defensive player of all time, possibly being the GOAT. He's got attributes, but to me, it's all been mostly potential and not potential necessarily reached.
TJ Watt is better than Micah Parsons.
Okay, I can go with that.
Nick Bosa is better than Micah Parsons.
Okay, I can go with that.
Those Myles Garrett better than Micah Parsons.
Okay.
And to answer your question, and to the comment, Micah Parsons is getting more fame from off the field than on the field with his podcast. And I think he is a bit too focused on, the podcast. We're on the podcast right now, but we don't play for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, our obligations are not, tied to this. We have other jobs.
Exactly.
We don't care about, what we're doing.
He's having other players from other teams on the podcast.
Yes.
He's having his teammates on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I do believe he's a star. He's in the world of Hollywood, well, not Hollywood, but stardom. And I do believe he sees opportunity because he is a Dallas Cowboy. He knows eyes are on him because he's a Dallas Cowboy. He knows eyes are on him because he's a star Dallas Cowboy. He's not like, Trey Lance warming the bench. He's a star. He is a person on the Cowboys who people want to see. So he's capitalizing off of that. Yeah. And to that point, I don't think he's putting it all on the field. I think he's just ready to get on this podcast and talk about how the game went or what should have been done, but execute while you're there.
Right. Well, there's a level where you think, and maybe this is a little bit old school, but we always want to think our players on our team have a sense of hate for their opponents. And when you're asking your opponents or you're praising your opponents after a game, you're asking your opponents to come on your podcast. It seems like you are, you're just playing rec league ball, not professional football. And that may be an old school mentality, but we say the same thing with the NBA too. It's like, we hate all this canoodling that all these players have, swapping jerseys after the end of the games and stuff like that. Like, no, I want you to hate and I want you to rip the dang heart out of the chest like you do hate them. Now, the off season, do what you want to do, but during the game, I don't want no high fives to each player from the opposite team. And it seems like that's where Micah Parsons, and maybe this is his new generation, how they are, but Micah Parsons especially, that seems like that's where his heart is. He doesn't care about just hating the other side. The 49ers hate our guts. They're wearing, if the Cowboys after a game after a game happens, and they mean that when they say that. They really mean that. And Michael Parsons like, oh, okay, we'll see y'all next year, and then we get blown out again. I don't think his heart is in it.
I think Michael Parsons is embracing the hate that he knows players have against the organization and the Dallas Cowboys, and he's gonna make money off the hate. Very Stephen A-ish, if you ask me. But to your point, it's almost like in WWE, it's like kayfabe.
Okay.
Okay. It's as a fan, it's not real, but the wrestlers are gonna, even off camera, they're gonna go through great extents to make it seem real, seem like they really don't like each other. That's what needs to go back into, in my opinion, in sports, because like you said, it's swapping jerseys, and there's a level of respect. I get it, but you're swapping jerseys. You're on each other's podcasts, and like in the 90s, you didn't see optimum phrase there. You didn't see Jordan hanging with Patrick Ewing. You didn't see or hear about Jordan hanging out with his opponents. Now, did he do it? I'm sure there were friendships that was built, and maybe this is the social media era that lenses and cameras are on everyone as they go. But as fans, we built up this illusion like these cats really don't like each other.
Yeah.
There
seems to be no true rivalry now.
When T.O. disrespected the Star, when he went on the Star, and
you see how mad Dallas got when they knocked him off the Star the second time he tried to do that.
Yeah.
Emmitt Smith went and scored his touchdown. He ran to the Star, threw his helmet down in the middle of the field. That was real.
That was real. But that was real. That was real hatred they had for him at the time. I'm sure if you ask T.O. or Emmitt Smith about that now, he has nothing against T.O. and T.O. has nothing against Emmitt Smith. But
after they retired, but there's no more competition to be had.
Yeah.
Not during while you're playing. I never understand, this swapping jersey thing. That's a relatively new thing. And I can understand if you're talking about a guy that's getting ready to leave the league. He's getting ready to retire. But they'll swap jerseys of people who are 23 years old and haven't really accomplished anything. And they're just swapping jerseys at the end of a regular season game. And I just don't understand that.
I mean, it runs parallel to the video you made a couple of days about anybody earning a statue.
Yeah.
It runs very parallel to that. Like, you just swapping jerseys with anybody. Anybody who dribbled a ball or threw a ball is getting a statue. I think D Rose is in talk of getting a statue now. Derrick Rose.
That doesn't make any sense. He shouldn't even get his jersey retired, I don't think. Maybe. I don't know. Definitely not the Hall of Fame. Definitely not a statue. Keeping it.
But going back to the Cowboys, we're hurting now. We're hurting, but this hurt started this summer. No, take that back. This hurt started with that loss against Green Bay. We had a chance to fix it and heal that hurt over the summer, but we didn't. Yeah. And that goes back to Jerry Jones right there. It's an uphill battle at this point, man. And if you're a Cowboy fan, you just gotta take it. You gotta take it on the chin. You gotta keep going, because you're gonna hear the comments. You're gonna see the stupid ass memes, which I don't mind, but please make them funny. Don't give me the same memes from 5 years ago,
10 years ago,
10
sometimes.
years ago.
They
Don't give me
still
the.
got.
Don't give me
still
the.
got-
I guess. Don't give me the. I guess they not them boys and
Yeah.
come
Some
on,
still got
man.
Tony Romo in the memes. I'm like, come
Come
on,
on,
man.
I know, like, come on, Jessica Simpson in the memes with Tony Romo. Come on, man. She's remarried. He's remarried. Come on, man.
That's a good point. They got old different wives and husbands by now. They've aged horribly. But Tony Romo's team plays in the booth now.
If you're gonna be funny, if you're gonna be, I guess, outlandish and controversial, be funny. It goes back to that comic at the Trump rally a couple days ago.
Oh, the one
Tony,
that was
whatever his name was.
You talk about Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I mean, I got no problem with controversial comedy. I like it, but it got to be funny.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with these Dallas Cowboy memes. Just make it funny.
Yeah.
Because you don't think us as Dallas Cowboys fans have heard and seen it all at this point?
Right. Let me ask you a question then. It's kind of going back to Micah then. So if you were a GM and you had the opportunity, even with Dak's contract that he just signed, to get rid of one of the two, Micah Parsons or Dak Prescott, but you got to keep one of them. Which one are you going to keep for the future?
Keep Dak, get rid of Mike. I mean, I'm sorry, you said Michael Parsons. I thought you said Mike McCarthy.
No, Michael Parsons or Dak Prescott. Who would you keep?
Answer is the same. I keep Dak and get rid of Mike. Micah.
I disagree. I think as bad as we're talking about Michael Parsons, Dak Prescott is even with a good defensive team and even a good coach, Dak Prescott is going to throw the game away from you. He does not handle pressure well. He's never handled pressure well. When he had a stacked team with him,
but before you say no, but before you say I'm getting rid of Dak, who are you going to replace him with?
Rebuild with somebody. I'd rather have Kirk Cousins.
Well, after tonight, yeah.
Yeah. There's many Cooper Rush. Give me Cooper Rush at this point. We can draft somebody that I believe could be better than Dak Prescott at this point. Yes, Dak has all these stacked yards and whatever like that, but we know how he gets those yards. He usually gets them in the third and fourth quarter when they're already behind, and then the stacks look better than they actually are, at least this year anyway. And there's some previous years he's done the same thing. When he is under pressure and he's playing good teams, Dak folds quicker than Superman on laundry day.
Wow, that is very true.
And Michael is young still too. I was like, that's enough. Michael is still young and can still learn. Will he learn? I don't know. Is he going to be a bonehead later on in his career? I don't know. He's still ultra talented. He has disappeared in some games. He disappeared last year in Green Bay. He's disappeared in a lot of important games last year too. But he's also shown some immense talent in a lot of those games as well too. So his upside to me is still higher than Dak's has ever been. Dak has been a talented game manager at best.
He has youth on his side. However, you got to factor in. I think one thing has to be factored in. The fact that Michael Parsons does have youth on the side and their respected positions. The quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys is at the helm. I mean, you got Jerry, the coach, quarterback. And depending on who the coach is, it may be Jerry, the quarterback, then the coach. Like, like it really depends. So I will say my answer, I said I'll keep Dak and get rid of Micah because going back, I think Micah is going to be focused on off the field antics as opposed to Dak. I would give Dak this. He's losing. He's losing big games for us. He knows how to go up to the press press conference and say all the right shit. But
I got to see today's press conference. I'll look at that
no, it's just watch last week, same shit.
later. You already watched it, or you just think it's already?
No, I watched it, and it's the same shit. Oh, he can throw in a couple comments about his injury, but that's about it.
We gotta get better. We're gonna get better.
I say that because Dak, he seems to be only focused on football. Dak ain't in no movies. Dak ain't in no videos. Dak ain't got no podcasts.
That's what kills it right there. He's focused on football and he still plays as bad.
Yes. Yes. And what also you gotta now Dak is one of those quarterbacks you gotta build around, and Jerry Jones didn't give Dak shit this season. So in order for Dak to have a smidget of success, you got to give him everything he needs to be successful. You got to give him a running back. You got to give him a line. Dak is not one of those quarterbacks who can create his own success based upon what he's dealt with. He's not Brady. He's not Brady. He's not Montana-ish. He's not Steve Youngish. He's not any of these old. He's not Mahomes. Dak has to have everything perfect for him to be successful. I'm talking from the free agency to the trade to the draft to the kickoff. Everything has to align for Dak to be successful. And if it doesn't, he doesn't know how to adjust. He doesn't. Peyton Manning to me was one of the best adjusters in the game. Prescott does not know how to adjust when things are going bad. He doesn't know how to adjust. He doesn't know how to make a call on the fly and like I'm gonna do this instead of that. They'll have the play. He's gonna run the play, and if maybe he'll use his legs, maybe he'll use his feet, but chances are he won't.
Yeah.
If the play's not there, he doesn't know how to just throw the ball away and live to fight another down. He's just gonna throw the ball. He's gonna get picked for the most part.
Speaking on that, see, this is how I know they listen to the media. Because what did Dak do today? And what was one of the big talking points last week that even Jerry Jones talked about Dak no longer doing? And he might actually he might be proving Jerry right. But what play did you see if you called it? What play did Dak do that we had a stat about it? What play did Dak do today that was out of the ordinary for him?
He ran. You talking about that? I think it was like that 15-yard run, and also that
I think it was a 22-yard run. It might be 15. You might be right.
It could be the damn Dallas Cowboys' longest run of the season.
It was.
Okay.
It was. It absolutely was.
And he also created some space with his legs on that touchdown to Rico Dowdle. He also did that. So, yeah, absolutely. It could be going back and watching tape, too. Look, man, use your legs. And now, again.
It was a 22-yard run.
22, and now.
That was long. Dowdle had a 15.
Yeah. And now, he's out. And now the hamstring,
But that was what Jerry Jones was also talking about. He said, I don't usually want him to run the ball because he's had past injuries, and that's why Dak doesn't run the ball anymore. He passes the ball, and that's why he'll no longer run the ball because he's trying to stay safe from hurting himself on the ball.
And while there is some truth to his comment in protecting your quarterback, there's also points in the game where a run is needed from your quarterback. And that run Dak ran, he had to run. He had nobody open, and he had nothing but open field. I guarantee though, if his running wasn't such a focal point last week, he would not have ran that ball. He would not have ran that ball if him creating space with his feet was not a focal point last week. I do believe Dak is in his head. Dak is in his head.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the Michael Parsons and Dak, who you get rid of and who stays. When you a defensive end, you're not as much in your head as a quarter. Dak is in his head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dak knows I'm the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, and Dak knows when we don't make the playoffs, it's on me. I just got paid $60 million. It's on me. He's in his head.
All right. Well, Tremaine, we're going to come to the part that we've been asking the past few weeks. That Dak started this. You'll see the record up here when he asked the question about being on or off the bandwagon. All right. Are you still on the bandwagon for Dallas to make the playoffs? Are you on or off the bandwagon? Please jump off if you want. But if you're going to stay on, you make sure you go all the way with that bandwagon.
Boy.
Lady Luck. It may come out. You know what Cooper was.
I think we got to rephrase the question. The bandwagon is bandwagon fans.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of bandwagon fans have jumped off because they don't see nothing.
Because they don't see them making the playoffs. That is bandwagon fans. And maybe that's what he's talking about.
So if you're a bandwagon fan, jump off because you go find another team who's going to make the playoffs. Yeah. But me as a hardcore fan, again, you see this damn star on my wall. We talked about this last week. I done painted one of my rooms in my house with a star, and I would show you all this other shit in this room, Dallas Cowboy related, but I will always be a Dallas Cowboy fan. That's my team. I'm not jumping off. No, I'm not jumping off. Will we make the playoffs?
If it comes to that, I'm jumping off the bandwagon for the playoffs for that. Not the team, but the playoffs. The playoff bandwagon.
The question is, do I jump off the bandwagon for the playoffs?
Yeah. Because I feel like he's not necessarily maybe referring to giving up on the team altogether, but giving up on the team doing well. That he was saying, are we going to fix things this year?
That's not his control. Shit.
It kind of is. I mean, not all in his control, but he's going to get majority of the blame.
Yeah. He's going to get all of the blame. Shit. No, I'm still hopeful for the playoffs. I am still hopeful for the playoffs. If you recall, I predicted us to go 11-6, I believe. I'm one game away from that.
We're 3-5, so we can just lose only one more game. We can do it.
What was it? Aaron Rodgers? He ran the table a couple years ago, but that ain't playing at least for 2 weeks.
Which again might work in our favor.
Which may work in our favor. Because
they won't know how to put game plan for Cooper Rush.
What's that?
They won't know how to game plan for Cooper Rush. His family, they're gonna show out and show up at the game too.
Yeah. Now again, Cooper Rush goes in here. Cooper Rush goes and just make Philly looks foolish. Thank you, Cooper. But now I haven't jumped off the bandwagon as far as making the playoffs. I want to still be hopeful, but it's an uphill hill to climb because I haven't jumped. I'm a rephrase. I haven't jumped off, but do I think we make the playoffs right now? No. There's improvement that has to be done.
Yeah.
And maybe this big trade that Jerry Jones is talking about that's going to shatter the election is going to do it.
I can't wait to see who this less than enthusiastic type trade he's going to make for. It's not going to be anybody. It is probably going to be for a new water boy or something.
I will say this:
water in red Solo cups.
before we get out of here, I am gonna say this. Ezekiel Elliott.
I forgot about that story. I was going to ask you about that. Would you?
It's over. It's over. It's over. How Glorilla talk? I don't know. It's over. It's over, man.
The nerve to get dropped from us, go to the Patriots, and lay an egg over there, and then come back by the graces of Jerry, and then to complain to the point where you have to stay at home on one of the worst, if not the worst team in the NFL. You have to stay home where you could be the best running back, but you're not that talented anymore. But since you run your mouth, you got kicked off. You have the nerve to even complain about where you're at. You shouldn't even be on this team, even as sorry as we are.
Ezekiel Elliott is done. In fact, and remember when I said, I remember I said that Ezekiel Elliott is going to fall. He's going to fall prey of how the Des Bryant effect. I don't even think that's going to be the case. I don't think Jerry Jones is going to want shit to do with him anymore. At least he still. I think Des Bryant is still welcome in the building and go watch a game.
Yeah.
Ezekiel, and they said it was disciplinary issues.
Yeah.
He's showing up late. He missed the team meeting. Ezekiel is done. He's done. He's definitely done with the Cowboys, and no other team is going to want him. He's done. You would not. Ezekiel Elliott would not be in the NFL next season.
Yeah. And I'm gonna back up your point on that because of how the Cowboys don't discipline their players. When you are bad enough to get disciplined by Dallas's coaches, you know you're bad.
That exactly. Ezekiel Elliott. This is if he plays another game this season.
That may be also a thing too.
If Ezekiel Elliott does not play another game this season, we have seen our last Zeke moment, and that was that touchdown against San Francisco.
So we're not gonna eat anymore.
No, that's done. He's little catchphrase and the whole on Thanksgiving when he jump into the bucket, that's over.
All right, well there you have it. Ezekiel not coming back probably. Dallas not coming back for the playoffs, more than likely. And this is the end of our episode for tonight. I'd like to thank everybody for joining in and viewing our show with me, Big Red, and Tremaine. We're trying to do this every Sunday. We're really dedicated for doing it on a season like this because we're not doing nothing.
I want to touch on that. The fact that we're doing it in this shit show of a season.
Yeah,
we're dedicated to doing this because it's easy to do it when we're winning, but to do it on this shit show of a season shows we're really into it. Really dedicated. We want to bring this to you guys, but it is what it is at this point.
Well, everybody has to go through a low point, some point, So we're just hitting ours. Next year, hopefully, we'll be back on top, and then you haters will have to watch us win the games, and then have to make more creative memes.
This is their year to get creative with their memes.
Yeah.
Before we sign off, Dallas Cowboy haters. I'm gonna say this right now. This is your year to get creative with your memes. So when we start kicking ass next year, all the memes you create this year, and when we occasionally lose next year, I want to see your creativity from this year. This is your year. You got a lot to work with this year. You got a lot of content to work with this year. You got Zeke, you got Jerry, you got Dak. You got a lot to work with this year. I want to see some creative memes next football season from this year. I want a contest. Give me some creative Dallas losing memes. Let's go. You got a lot to work with this season.
And if you got any, make sure and send them to on Instagram or The Last Rewind and send it into our messenger, and we'll see if we can pop them up here.
Yes.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
Have fun with it.
Yeah, I don't mind the memes. Just be creative. That's all I care.
Exactly. And you got a lot of content to work. We're not winning. Come on, you got a lot to work with this season.
Yeah. Make me laugh. All right, we're gonna sign off on here. Y'all have a good night. This has been me, Big Red, and me, Jermaine. We'll see you next Sunday. Hopefully, unless one of us becomes depressed and gets medically locked up. So, otherwise, peace.
Peace.